Liangelo Ball, G3G Honcho, had 2 nights in Long Island, New York. We about to get all into it.
Fight, what's
Liangelo
going
Ball
down,
has been
man?
receiving inconsistent minutes in Greensboro. One may wonder, are the Swarm truly putting him in position to succeed and get to his ultimate goal, which is the NBA roster? You know, I want to pose the question. I beg to differ with anybody that says yes. And if you do say that, it's very inconsistent, just like his minutes. This is truly affecting, I would say, his field goal percentage, everything, and I wonder if it's affecting his psyche. What are the Greensboro Swarm doing? Because he was on the roster, in preseason, along with Jalen Crutcher, who is receiving the lion's share of the minutes. It's kind of crazy and critical that these two men were both on the roster together, receiving pretty much the same amount of minutes when they were in the preseason. But now, headed back to the Swarm, you got Crutcher at the top of the food chain. You got Jello just just hanging out on the bench most of the night, and you don't know what is going to happen with him. What's going to happen with his minutes? You know, one it's crazy because before these two games in Long Island, he didn't play the last two. So that's what I'm saying. He'll have one game. Jello has been through everything you can imagine when it comes to what's been going on in Greensboro. He can go from being a starter, getting 30 plus minutes, to not playing at all. Buried on the bench. I don't know what Søren Camp is doing. What is the true method to this madness? Because it is true madness that's happening with Liangelo. I don't like what's happening. He played against the Greensboro played against the Ignite team. He received absolutely no minutes. And a lot of people do know that the Ignite team, it does get looked at, because you have a lot of, key, players that is looking to move up the ranks and use the Ignite as an avenue, as we've seen many other players do in the past. So that's truly unfortunate, what has happened with Liangelo from that standpoint. But prior to that, he played in the game against the Maine because he missed 2 games, before the Long Island matchups, and due to no injuries of his own, just I guess coach's decision, and it's horrifying to see Jello not getting minutes, and then there was one game against the Maine Celtics. The man Jello received 33 minutes and had 12 points, so it's just rocking him, the way they're playing him, and it's very unfortunate. He would have one game where he has 38 points, and pardon me, he had 26 points with 38 minutes, and that was against the Westchester Knicks. And we're talking about nearly over a month ago where he received minutes of this magnitude. So when mind you, Jello is the only person going through this on the roster. Nobody's minutes is getting screwed around like this. And I'm evaluating other G League teams. I'm trying to figure out, are they singling out Liangelo? And I'm not trying to, play victim or advocate for none of that. But somebody needs to answer me this. Why is his minutes being screwed around like this and nobody else is? Jello receives just about the least amount of minutes as of recently of anybody on the team. I don't like the consistency on what's going on. And Jello has proven that he can play alongside some of these guys like Mark Williams, like JT Thor. You see these guys bouncing back and forth from the active roster to the main roster. I just don't like the fact that we just not seeing Jello featured. We're seeing Jalen Crutcher featured, but why is Jello not being featured? Why is Jalen Crutcher's minutes not being screwed around like this? I could see if it was equal, then okay, okay, cool. Just like it was equal when Jello was in Charlotte. It was more equal when he was with the Charlotte Hornets, because I believe they all were coming in around the same junction of the game, receiving just about the same amount of minutes. So you couldn't pose the fact or the question that, okay, what is going on here? The only thing I didn't like is they never played Jello and Melo together. And they selling that like the Ball brothers together, they united, but they never sure gave the people that opportunity to see those two together on the floor, because they knew it would have been fireworks. That's what the people wanted to see. You know, they sold it like that. You know, welcome to Buzz City. The Ball brothers are united. I mean, it's upsetting the fact that they did not go forward with it the way it should have been. You know, you at least let's see that. You know, we got to be able to see that. We got to be able to see Melo and Jello on that floor together, so we could see it live in the NBA. And the fact that they were on the same team, playing in the same arena, and never on the floor at the same time was upsetting to me, and upsetting to a lot of people that has been following the journeys of the Ball brothers, including Lonzo. We all know they belong to play together, you know. And I want to know, is this hurting his confidence, you know? Because if anybody was going through this, you're going to see you got inconsistent minutes. You're going to have inconsistent, you know, points all around the board. Just like I said, that he could have 20 plus and then have 3 points, 6 points. And that goes from not playing at all to receiving 11 minutes, to not playing to receiving 16 minutes, to receiving, you know, just 6 minutes, and then going back to 36 minutes. So, I mean, this is what's going on with Jello. You know, so I just want to inform people, everybody, and all of the people that's following Jello, what's happening. You know, I'm very upset, you know, behind this, you know, because I know that Jello deserves better. He didn't work too hard, you know, to get his minutes screwed around like this. And I just feel like this has been a consistent trend, and I only see it dealing with Jello. You know, if not, if you see somebody else receiving their minutes like just tangled like this, let me know. You know, but give Jello a lot of credit, because like I said, we had boots on the ground in Long Island, New York. They let me know, inform me, Jello's spirits was very up. You know, he was very giddy. You know, his energy was electric. He was high. He looked happy. You know, so we got to give him that. And his sportsmanship does not get enough credit, because dealing with all of this, Jello was one of the first people off the bench to celebrate his teammates, high five, you know, and things of that nature. Always exhibiting great energy on the bench. When if you ask me, I mean, I would be very disgruntled. But give Jello credit for doing the best he can under the circumstances, knowing he deserves better. I can't wait till Jello gets better. And I wonder if it's in Greensboro, because Jello has an ultimate goal. And if they're not on the same page, it's time to make a decision. It's Flight Sports TV. I need everybody to hit that like button. If you're new, most definitely hit that subscribe button. We're going to be putting out a whole lot of content, and we live tonight. It's Flight Sports. Shout out to everybody. Love.